Welcome to the OrganizedPreneur podcast, where we dive deep into the art of launching and streamlining your podcast and business for growth. I'm your host, Aldreama Harper. With more than 2 decades of experience in the organizing space, transforming chaos into order and launching 3 podcasts, I decided to combine those experiences to share my insider tips and proven strategies so that you can avoid the pitfalls I've had to overcome. So, whether you're just starting out or looking to enhance your existing endeavors, you'll get the knowledge, the tools, and the strategies to work more efficiently when launching your business or your podcast. You ready? Let's go. All right, so today I am answering a question that was submitted from one of the persons that registered for the master class. And so when you register for the master classes that I do, by the way, on they're every week. I do weekly master classes on podcasting and all things related to podcasting. You can submit a question there, or you can actually go to organizedpreneurpodcast.com and click on the button, and I will answer your question um, quickly. More than likely, I will do that here on the show because sometimes people have the same questions. And so if you're, subscribed to the podcast, you can go ahead and, you know, you may have that same question. So, right? So, anyway, so today I'm going to be answering a question that was submitted um, to the show. And, excuse me. So, um, and it's actually a very common question that people will ask. And so the question is, should I use Anchor? It's actually a threefold question. So, and I'm going to dive right into answering the question. So the question was, should I use Anchor? Should I also have a video? Should I provide transcriptions? Okay. So that was a question or questions that was submitted by one of the registrants. And so let's just kind of dive into that question. So, um, and my answer is yes. You should use Anchor. And by the way, I'm saying that because that's how I started out. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Anchor is now Spotify for podcasters. Okay. And so it's no longer Anchor, it's now Spotify for podcasters. And so what has happened is now you're able to actually um, upload your video and audio at the same time. In fact, when you upload your video to the podcast platform, it will also create the audio for it. Okay. Now, let me explain that a little bit. Because the platform will automatically do that, whereas before Anchor only used audio. And if you only want to use audio, you can do that. You don't have to use video. Now the question was, should I use Anchor? Yes. Should I also have video? It depends. So when you use Spotify for podcasters, you can upload a video. And so when you upload the video, you will have both the video and the audio. However, you don't have to do that. You can still upload just the audio, which is what I do. So what I do, I typically will have, because I do solo episodes, I upload the audio. When I do interviews, or if I do a podcast, I record a podcast episode that maybe requires some type of demonstration or something, then I will upload the video as well. Okay, so um, and so and again, the reason why there's several reasons why I recommend Anchor or Spotify for podcasters. Number one, it is actually free. Number two, it's very easy to use. It offers a very easy to use interface. It offers free hosting, distribution to major podcast platforms like Apple, like Amazon, like YouTube, all of those things. And so you want to use, even if you don't use that platform, you want to find a platform that is easy to use, um, has free hosting, and will distribute to the other major platforms. Okay, so let me just kind of go over some, pros and cons. So Anchor, and so I'm gonna Anchor, which is Spotify for podcasters, provides free podcast hosting. So that's one of the pros, right? And it is definitely ideal for those that's just starting out. As a matter of fact, I have been podcasting for several years now. So I've launched 3 podcasts. The first one only has 12 episodes because of my inconsistency and lack of direction. But the second podcast that I launched was actually on Anchor when it was just Anchor. It wasn't Spotify for podcasters at that time. So on that that podcast has over about 400 episodes that myself and my former business partner leveraged that platform to launch our podcast. And the podcasts are still out there. They're amazing. They're wonderful. If you search for Wisdom Inspired, you will find the podcast out there. Okay. And so, yes, I would recommend that because of that. Uh, so, pros, it's free, ideal for those just starting out. Another pro is user friendly, making it easily accessible for those with little to no technical experience. Okay. Uh, Another pro is that it includes tools for recording, editing, and even monetizing your podcast all in one place. Now, let me say a little bit about that. So, now that it is Spotify for podcasters, they have partnered with Riverside. Okay, Riverside is a platform that allows you to now edit now, and they had this before, but now it's like, I mean, like explosive, robust, right? And so now that they have partnered with Riverside, okay, so since they've partnered with Riverside, you can do everything like, and I mean just about everything on one platform. You can go live, you can do interviews, I mean, there's just a plethora of things that you can do just on that platform. Now, not all of it is free, but uh, it is definitely affordable. Okay. So, and what I will do is I will definitely put the link in the show notes where you can launch yours and you can get a couple of hours, I believe it's 2 hours of free um, on Riverside. The editing, you can just go ahead and try it out. You get 2 hours for free, and then you'll have to upgrade to, a monthly fee, right? But it is amazing, amazing. Okay, so because like I said, there's integrated tools for recording, editing, and monetizing. I talked a little bit about that on the monetizing on a previous episode. I believe it's episode 110. I'll link that in the show notes as well, in terms of how you can click a button and monetize your podcast. But, and again, another pro is that it distributes your podcast to the multiple platforms. Now, again, with the fact that they have um, partnered with Riverside, uh, you will have to, in order to continue using it, you'll have to upgrade. Okay. And I'm telling you, it's worth it. Okay. So If you're looking for just completely free, you can still use the platform for completely free, even if after you used, the 2 hours, but you won't be able to use Riverside. Okay. So you'll just have to do the editing outside of the platform and then, um, upload your episode. Okay. Which is, by the way, this is something that I teach my clients. So if you're interested in that, shameless plug, you know, holla at me. All right. Um, so let's see, scalability. It is great for beginners. It's actually good for advanced podcasters too. I consider myself an advanced podcaster because this particular uh, podcast I have over 100 episodes. So I've been podcasting for quite some time now, and I'm still on the same platform. So there's that. Okay, so it's an excellent starting point for newbie podcasters as well as those who are advanced. Okay, so um, let me see, what was the other question? Oh, should I have video? So again, that depends. I kind of said that before, but it really depends on number one. It depends on what kind of podcasting uh, format you want to use. And so what I mean by that is, as I explained, about myself, I do solo podcasting, and so I do primarily audio. Okay, so and with that, it that's how I want to show up. Okay. And when I do something that requires a demonstration, or maybe I'm doing, repurposing a master class or something, or I'm doing an interview, I will do video. So it really does depend on you. And also depends on, like, if you want to do video and you wanted to go to Spotify, which again does use, you can upload it to video, or YouTube. So we know that YouTube is definitely a platform that is that works well for videos. If you're going to use videos, okay, video podcasts can attract a larger audience. um, they can connect with your content through the visual. Some people are very, very, very visual. Okay. But again, you can repurpose all of your content. Okay. So video allows you to repurpose your podcast episodes into clips and shorts and all of that kind of stuff. So, but also audio. So another actually, I'm not going to get into that, but I'll just mention, like, Headliner. I use that as well for monetizing my audio clips. Okay, so but I'm not going to get into that as much. So, but again, if you're looking at in the future of monetizing your YouTube platform, then you'll definitely want to consider doing more videos. Okay, so I'm not going to get into a whole bunch of the monetization um, hacks and things like that as far as YouTube, because that's not my area of expertise, but I do know that it is possible. Okay, so some of the cons might be you know adding video may require additional equipment like cameras and lighting. And if you don't want to do all of that, then stick with audio. People connect to audio as well as video. They connect your audience. You have to find where you can connect with your audience best. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Some of the other cons: video production can introduce, additional technical challenges, especially for those who have limited experience or resources. And this is a big one: video files are significantly larger than audio files, which can impact your storage. I have experienced that on a personal level. Okay, so you're if you're going to do videos, then you definitely want to be able to handle it, by enlarging the storage capabilities. Okay. All right. So, but here's the deal: if you have the resources and you have the capacity to produce video content, it can definitely be a valuable addition to your podcast. It can help you stand out, it can help you create stronger connection with your audience and open up other avenues for distribution and monetization. So, okay. But if you're just starting out, I will say this: if you're just starting out, you may feel a little overwhelmed and things like that. Okay, so all right, so the third part of her question was, should I provide transcriptions? So providing transcriptions of your podcast offers many benefits, including um, SEO, content repurposing, things like that. If you want to um, create a blog, or what have you, and you want to have it transcribed, definitely you should do that. If you're into repurposing like I am, you do want to do that. Transcriptions can make your content accessible to a broader audience, right? Including those who may be deaf or hard of hearing. They can, read the transcriptions or what have you. Again, there are SEO benefits. It improves your discoverability online and your content repurposing. Now, creating transcriptions, and I'm just going to kind of go into the cons. Creating transcriptions can be time consuming if you're trying to do that manually. Now, obviously, there are, if you're doing, let's just say, you're doing something on YouTube or even in the platforms that I have used, uh, again, like Riverside, for example. So it transcribes for you, right? So there are just so many tools that's available now that was not available when I first started, that can automate the process. Okay, so but I would definitely, because I definitely transcribe all of my content because I am a repurposing queen. That's what they call me. Okay. Well, that's one of the names that people call me. They also never mind. I'm not going to get into that. So it's not bad or anything, but that's just one. Everybody has a name. Somebody called me not repurposing queen, but they called me podcast queen. So I was like, I like that too. So anyway, but yes, so providing transcription is definitely recommended if you want to make your podcast more accessible, improve its online visibility. It's definitely a valuable addition that can help you reach a wider audience. Okay. So, let's see. So that should answer the question that was submitted. If you have questions that you would like for me to answer, feel free to submit them. You can go to organizedpreneurpodcast.com, click the button, leave me an audio, um, or you can come to the masterclass or register for the masterclass and submit your question, and I will definitely answer that question via podcast, or when you actually register and you're there live, I can answer your question as well. So that is what I have for you today. If you're interested in closing the gap between where you are now and where you want to go and how to fill in that gap, then feel free to book a success strategy call with me where I will share options available. And if at that time it makes sense for us to work together, we'll discuss how to move forward. All you have to do is go to bit.ly/pod launch strategy. Okay, bit.ly/pod launch strategy. Okay, all right. I like to end with a scripture. And so today's scripture is Ephesians 2:10. And this is the NIV version, New International Version. And it says, for we are God's handiwork. Another version